What's going on, people? Welcome to the Checkout Process, brand new podcast show featuring me and my dad, Michael. I'm Warren. Um, we're a father and son duo who started and scaled an e-commerce brand in the wellness industry to over 1 million in revenue in over 8 years. And we've been voted Amazon's Editor's Choice multiple times for best product in Amazon category. Let me just close my window. And we've recently celebrated serving over 30,000 customers, right? So now we're sharing our ups and downs, challenges, and champion moments with you to hopefully inspire, motivate, or educate you wherever you are in your e-commerce business, right? Because behind every entrepreneur is a belief, right? And behind every order is a story. So we're just inviting you into our story today. So like I said, I'm Warren. This is Michael, father and son duo. We've been in e-commerce for a while now, and we've put this together. Do you want to say any words to them, pops?
No, I'm good to go. Let's just get into it, son.
Let's jump into it. So you guys are going to hear me call him my dad, pops. I don't really use the word dad. I use pops. So that's just our thing. So I like to highlight that. But so we're gonna start with what our lives was like before e-commerce, and in the next couple episodes we'll get into how we started the company, how we scaled it, etc., etc. But first of all, pops, you can tell them your journey before e-commerce, how you what you was doing before, and then you could stop at e-commerce.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, really, I mean, if I start my sort of my work life, really, I mean, I started quite young, really. I mean, I started probably around about 15. This is even before I sort of left school. My sort of work life hustle, for want of a better word, was doing paper rounds. So I did paper rounds, sort of selling sort of papers on the street to cars. Basically, just stand at traffic lights and sell to cars, sort of just making a living that way. Um, and then I moved from there. I did a Saturday job. I was working in a cash and carry. Did that up until I left school. And then what I did once I'd left school, my first sort of proper job, my sort of introduction to the commercial world, I suppose, was I was a stock records clerk for it was a blind company. So we used to import the raw blind material and sell it to blind makers. And what I used to do, I used to sort of keep the books. I did that for around about 5 years. Did that for
Right.
about 5 years.
Mm.
Um, and then I went and worked for a company called Legal in General. Um,
How old was you
and
roughly?
that was,
How old was you at this point now, pops? At legal in
I'm
general.
probably, yeah, so I started the Legal in General job probably around about 22,
Okay.
probably, yeah, so 17 to 5, 20, about 22.
Okay.
Um, and that, like I said, I mean, that was my first real foray into, I might want to start sort of doing something for myself. I mean, I was taken on as an admin clerk looking after the sales guys, so to speak. Um, so yeah, I did that. Like I said, I was doing the administration for them, and then I thought to myself, I think I can probably do this job myself.
Hmm.
But the thing is, because I was administration, I didn't have the experience, and they made that clear to me. So I was still just doing the job, but knowing now that my sort of career journey was going to take a different path.
Mm.
Um, so I sort of then started thinking to myself, well, if I can't get an opening here, I might have to start looking somewhere else. And then, so what happened after that? I saw a position for Abbey Life, but it was commission only, um, which was the only way I was going to get experience into the sales environment,
Mm.
really.
Mm.
So I did commission only, and what it was, I was, I suppose, wanting to or having to sort of fire my own leads, sort of speak to friends, family, and sell to that sort of portion of my life, for want of a
Right.
better word.
Yeah.
And what would happen is that I would have to speak to my friends and say, for example, or say to my friends, well, look, have you got 5 people that you know that might be interested in insurance? Um, and that's what I used to do. So I used to network. Um, so,
Did
like I
you
said,
hate
that was
that part of the job? Did you hate that part, or did you not mind that part, like trying to sell to family and friends and stuff?
no, it was a grind, son. It was a grind.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, that was the hardest part of it, really. And I suppose that, along with fact that it was commission only led me to be thinking to myself, well, I'm not sure how long, how much longevity I've got in this particular field. So I did that. Like I said, it was a good introduction, got me good experience, customer facing. And then what I did, I started looking for another job. I found a job for a company called Initial Automatics. Other companies are available, but found a company, got this company with it, got this position with Initial Automatics. And that was a salaried position, commission, company car, and they provided potential leads for me to go out and sell. And that was my real, like I said, start in the sales world, which is pretty much where I am now. I mean, like I said, that was about 20 years ago. I'm now in a field where I now do electrical testing, which is a company that do safety at work, where, for example, companies have to test the integrity of the electrical system. So we do fixed wire testing, pack testing, thermal imaging, and emergency lighting. So that's what I'm kind of like doing now in a sales capacity. And yeah, that's pretty much my sales journey, really, in my life today.
Nice. So just a couple of things that you said. So at the time, obviously, what was there any? Because you had an entrepreneurial little spot somewhere in there, right? Where you tried your hand at what a business with you and uncle, right, at the time in the mid-90s. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But
That's right.
did that wetted your whistle for later on to try something else later on? Like to talk us through that little part as well.
Yeah, so along the sort of the journey, sort of in between, I set up a business with your Uncle David. It was an alarm business, where I would actually sort of go out and speak to estate agents about selling alarms at the point of sale of the house, where we get alarms installed, and I'd work very closely with the estate agents to get that contact so we can install the alarms. I did that for about 5 years. And to be fair, like it did wet the entrepreneurial sort of whistle, for want of a better word. We did that, but sort of things sort of phased out as they do, because in I suppose in entrepreneurial businesses, there's always going to be failures along the way. So you start something, it doesn't work out, but you keep going. I think the key is that you keep going.
Absolutely.
So that didn't work out. Got back into sales, and continued along my sales journey. Always look for an opportunity. We bumped into we bumped into one another from a commercial point of view, because obviously father and son. But from a business point of view, we said, well, let's see if we could do something. But yeah, I mean, yeah. In answer to the question, yeah, it's always been, I suppose, lying quietly dormant within me, that I suppose that need and that want to actually do something for yourself.
Yeah.
So,
and the reason why I wanted to highlight that point is because something that I'm always telling people and preaching myself is on this journey of entrepreneurship and like wanting to build a vehicle for ourselves, it's like take breaks and don't quit. That's one of my phrases. Take breaks but don't quit. It's okay to try stuff, and if it don't work, just take a break. Like you just took a break. That thing that you started with Uncle and that, and you didn't ever throw it away and say, no, this ain't good for me, I'm never doing this again. You was like, look, it ran its course, and I'll take a break and I'll be back. And I think that's a really important mindset that I do like to reinforce. So love that
and
story.
I think something you touched on there is mindset as well, because it is about sort of mindset. It's just it's about constantly being open, remain open.
Yeah.
I had an experience. It wasn't an ideal outcome, but the mindset is you're never closed. You're always open. You're always open to new opportunities, because if you're closed, then obviously, you might miss out on that sweet spot.
Absolutely.
Whenever it's going to come.
Absolutely. And that's one of my favorite quotes is the most expensive thing you can do is have a closed mind. The most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind. That's it. That's a quote that I love, and that's what you're saying. It reminds me of.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
when our minds open, everything's there. When it's closed, how many things are we missing, man? How many tricks are we missing? You know, just
Absolutely. It's
just
just a
from having it.
possibility.
Yeah,
Possibilities are endless.
absolutely. And that's growing up. I think that's something that you've always kind of put into me. It's like I just felt. I mean, maybe you didn't actually say it, but I just always felt like the possibilities are there. Like we'll get into stories about like how I remember you helping me with my music journey earlier
Right.
on, and also mum as well. Like luckily for me, I had parents that was always like encouraging. Do you get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
if maybe if you weren't super encouraging on this day, at least you weren't putting me down. Do you get what I'm saying? No one was ever
Yeah.
putting me down at a base. Mum always told me, "Oh, you're so handsome, son. You can do it all." And you was always like, "Look, you live in an entrepreneur. You live in a digital world, world. Like you can do it all. Like now, this is you lot's playground kind of thing. Like, you
Yes.
know." And
Absolutely.
it was always like, I just think, yeah, pops, for real, innit? I was sitting there going, yeah, oh yeah, for real. Like,
But it's, but
it's,
it's true
it's
though. The
true.
sad thing.
It's true.
This is
Like
the
you was
sad
always
thing for you
looking at
guys.
it like that, you know, over the fence, saying, look how easy you lot got it. Like you lot got this digital
Yeah.
world at your hands. Like we didn't have that, and that was just tuning me in to be like, for real. Like what you know,
Yeah.
am I utilizing it? So yeah,
Yeah.
um,
You don't walk about with mobile phones. We didn't. That's for just a small example.
yeah,
Like it's crazy. But anyway.
exactly.
But yeah.
Yeah. Cool, I love that. I love that. So, all right, let's segue into my backstory a little bit.
Yeah.
So so I start off. So I leave school at 16, and I work in a recording studio, which my older brother has, and I get to work with all of these artists. Obviously, I got a passion for music. I write my first song at 13. I got a passion for music, and that's all I want to do. So I'm investing all of my eggs into that basket. It gets to I got to work with some fantastic people like Sugar Babes, Skepta, Chipmunk, um, and Marcus Houston, Jadakiss, all of these people. And I don't say that to impress you. I say that to impress upon you that you just never know what's around you or what's going to happen. So it's so important that you, like we said earlier, to stay open. So I did that, which I feel like from that, I don't know, 7 years up until 20, I learned a ton of things like just how to perform. And we recorded, what you guys don't know is that we previously recorded this episode but it didn't record properly. But one of the things that we highlighted last time is because my pops has got an background in obviously sales. One of the things that you learn in sales and also in music is how to perform, like how to put on a kind of wear a mask, if you like, and go into a mode. So that's what music gave me. It gave me an opportunity to slip into a different character and you know, be able to walk into different rooms in a different way. So I done that up until 20, and I was burnt out. I was just completely burnt out. I was looking around at 20, and everyone, all of my friends, not maybe my friends, but people around me was kind of leveling up and going through those normal motions, and I felt kind of behind. You know, studio rat, you know, kind of always looking for the next opportunity. There was no kind of stability. Plus, my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife now, but at my time she was my girlfriend, Andrea, she got pregnant and she was having my first son, Leo. Well, my only son, Leo. So I was like, okay, I need to some stability, and obviously a musician's life isn't still stable. So I went out like most dads do. Went out and got a normal regular job in Matalan, which is just hanging coats and stuff up in the stock room and stuff and scanning. And that was when I was 20. I did that until 23. Um, and ultimately in Matalan, I would summarize my journey as learning how to serve customers. Because up until that point, I was always serving myself. Being a musician, musicians tend to be quite self-centered, you know, quite, you know, center of the world revolves around them. And as an artist, you have to have that mentality. Do you get what I'm saying? But then I started looking outwards and being more like, okay, cool. How can I serve others? How can I help you? You okay, madam? Da 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 da. It kind of customer service kind of thing. So I done that for 3 years. Then I went into a marketing company where I got recruited for by a friend, which was network marketing, MLM. So where you use the products and you start marketing around to your family and friends, a bit like you, pops, with your role. Um, and I done that for
Ab-
two. Yeah, at Abbey Life, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I done that for 2 years, and my biggest learning there was that it was just a personal development company wrapped up in a marketing company. It was really a personal development company because they made us read all types of books like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins, like all of these
Yeah.
books that I got exposed to that I was just like, I didn't know
Personal
exist.
development. Yeah.
Yes, and I didn't know they existed. I didn't know. I'd never read a book really, and once
Yeah.
I left
Yeah. Yeah.
school, I'd never picked up a book. So from the age
Never had
six,
a reason to.
never,
Yeah.
never, ever, ever. And I found these books, and I just started devouring them, reading probably every 2 weeks. So within a couple of years, I probably read over 100 books in that department. So now naturally, what happens when you start pouring all of that stuff into one pot? It just starts to bubble over, and I just started to believe in myself in a different way and start thinking, okay, cool, I can actually do something with my life. I'm gonna do something with my life. Whereas before it's kind of like I might do something with my life, like maybe if I'm lucky, but now it's like no, I get to create something. So I done that for 2 years, and then I went to an estate agent for a year where I was just selling, renting properties and stuff. Learned sales there, and then I went to work at my brother's company, Base Buds, where I done sales there as well for a year or two. And then I was now 25, so I had a 5 year working, in sales, marketing, and customer service. And then age 26, I'm like, okay, cool. I want to combine the sales, the marketing, and customer service into something of my own now. I want to create something of my own. I've got that itch. I felt like I could do it. And then that kind of leads me to not discovering you because you're my dad. I knew you a long time, but us bumping into each other and saying, look, there's an opportunity on the table. Should we take advantage of it? And the answer became
Yeah.
yes, but we'll get into that in the next video of how
I
we
think
come across that.
just to round that off, I think what was happening is obviously because we have regular family get-togethers, don't we? So we're constantly sort of signposting our lives, really. And I think we just hit that point where we just kind of compared notes and thought, do you know what? Actually, there might be some synergy. There might be an area where we might be able to do something. And I think
Absolutely.
that was it. I think one thing we did say is that as long as we don't compromise our family values, we
Facts.
don't want business to get in the way of family values, and because you hear these stories, don't you? But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that was it. Just to
Yeah,
finish
no,
off, 'cause
that's a good
time.
point, and that's something that we made clear very early on. Like, if we're gonna do something together, fine, but it can't dare ever compromise us.
At the cost of like family feuds, or you
Yeah,
know what I mean, like that. Money's not. It's the root of all evil. That's what they say.
yeah,
But our family values, what we got together, is way more important
yeah,
than a few quid.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it was important to make that clear in the very early days.
That was super clear. Yeah. So yeah, and then that was my background. So guys, that was my story. That my pops' story. In the next episode, we're gonna explain to you, carry it on exactly how we formed the company, the steps we went through, and we're just gonna have fun with this show podcast. We're not sure what this is, but we know where we want to outlet to share some of the stories that we've got and some of the lessons. Like for me, I believe a problem shared is a problem halved. So maybe this is kind of like therapy for us in some way, where we get to like unload a little bit, and as a way to unload, you guys get to learn the ups and downs, and navigate whatever you're going through. Maybe it helps you in some way.
It does, because we didn't have this. When we was doing we were starting off, we didn't have this type of environment where you could sort of just plug into it, and people can walk you through a process. So this is
Absolutely.
where us giving back, I suppose.
Absolutely, and the key word you used there, Potts, was process. Like, and that's why we call this the checkout process, because not only is it a reflection of e-commerce, but sometimes you just want to check out mentally, and there's a process to doing that. But we're not going to check out. We're just going to go. We're just going to discuss it, to avoid checking out completely. So, with that being said, guys, I appreciate you for locking in. This was this week's episode. It's going to be launched on a weekly episode. You can find us on social media as well: X, TikTok, Instagram, etc., etc. Click the link down below if you want to book a call with either me, my dad, both of us, either one. For if you got need any coaching, mentoring, etc. There's also some links to some resources down there as well on e-commerce, digital marketing, etc. So any questions or concerns, drop them in the comment below. We're gonna be in the comment section answering and liaising with you guys all day long. And that's it. Any last words, Pops?
No, that's it.
Cool.
Peace.
Peace. Take care.